I've had it now for about a year and a half. To give you a little backstory, I'm riding, if you're wondering, I'm riding a 2023 KTM 890 Adventure, the base model, or the non-R, not the R, whatever you want to call it. But I had a 2022 KLR 650 before I bought this bike, and that bike had a little bit better wind protection than this does, but comparable, kinda. And this helmet did really well on both bikes. I had before I bought this helmet, Goldwing. Before I bought this helmet, I had a Arai XD4, and I thought I would like the Arai, but there was two things about the Arai that bugged me. One was you could not get a pin lock insert or a pin lock insert and a pin lock insert shield for it anywhere. I don't know why, but you just couldn't find one. And now there are companies now where you can like modify the shield, and they come with a pin lock insert. You have to drill holes and put pins in it and all this garbage. But the new Arai, the XD5, now it's pin lock ready. But the two things really that bugged me about the Arai XD4 was no pin lock, which meant, I live in East Tennessee. It's really hot and humid, and then we have cool mornings in the spring, like now in April. And I would be on my way commuting to work on KLR or this bike. No, I'm sorry. I had that Arai XD4 and I had the KLR, not when I had this. Anyways, and I would be commuting on the KLR to work, and I would I would have to raise my visor up every red light to keep the visor from fogging up while sitting still. It was kind of annoying and kind of ridiculous for, a helmet that costs that much. So let's be honest, it's supposed to be a premium helmet, and not getting premium results was kind of a bummer. But I love how this car's not even doing the speed limit. I'm doing 27 and I'm about to run over them. It's really, really great. I love people who get out and do this kind of crap. And now we're hitting our brakes going downhill while doing 27 because we're coming up to a curve. Anyways, but that helmet, that was the main thing that annoyed me about it. And secondly, I use a Cardo Pack Talk Black with big, like speakers in it. And even though the speakers fit in the cheek pads, not in the helmet, Arai does that a little weird. I think on the newer helmet, one of them, they changed that. But it made the speakers close to your ear, which is cool, because then the speakers, you can really hear them. But downside is I wear earplugs that just barely protrude out of my ear. And what that would do was the speakers would push barely, just barely push the earplugs into my ear just a little bit more. And it got to be like the helmet was comfortable, but it got to be annoying and kind of unbearable. That's the third really annoying thing that it did for me, that helmet. The peak or the visor, what do you want to call it, at speeds above 50, it would like rattle this real low, like bassy tone throughout the entire helmet. Even if I had music on, I could still hear it. It like vibrated the entire helmet. And that was the big thing that I just couldn't deal with anymore. I think something about the way the visor's like, adjustable just by pushing on it, I think that's what made it vibrate like that. I really get tired of this car. But so it did that, and that really annoyed me more than anything, and that was the main reason I ended up taking a huge loss and selling it to like a friend of mine just to get rid of it and move on. Now that brings me to this helmet, what the review is about. Sorry to get long-winded, but this Climb Cross Pro is really light. It vents well. It's comfortable enough, but not like super comfortable. It comes with with two visors, a clear and a auto transitioning or auto darkening visor, however you say it, in the box with a pin lock. So that's cool. It has this spid lock thing where it's kind of like a buckle. Try to show it to you in a B camera, but it's not a regular D-ring. And it literally it has like a magnet, and it like hooks. It has like a hook and then something that goes over it like this, and that's how it locks in place. It's kind of weird. For those of you who know about Fidlock motorcycle helmets, you know what I'm talking about. But that part's cool because it's, if you forget to do up your helmet, even with gloves on, you can get it latched and be safe. Finally, this car turns. Ugh. I hate people who drive like that. It really annoys the crap out of me. It's like they act like they're the only one on the road. And I'm not condoning speeding, but speeding was like 35 and you're doing like 25 the whole time. But, this helmet, the main thing, I'm going here. I'm tired of waiting on people. The main thing this helmet does that annoys me is like just above like my forehead, like maybe 3 inches into my hairline, the padding right there, it's like almost non-existent. So what it does to me after about 30 minutes, it starts like it's just, I don't know, it's not soft enough to be comfortable. So after like 30 minutes, it barely presses on the top of my head. It might be better if someone that had like really thick like hair, maybe. That might help because that may give you just that little bit of padding to kind of overcome that and not notice that it's bad. But the other kind of gripe I have is I don't know why, but it has speaker placements in the helmet part itself. But no matter what I do to try to space them out, like with spacers, that come with Cardos and stuff, to get them closer to my ear where I can hear the Cardo better. At full volume, it's like on half volume to me. They're just not close enough to my ears for me to hear it. But I do wear earplugs, so that makes it worse. It makes the music not as loud. I know, my problem, not the designer of the helmet's fault. But with my Shoei GTR 2, I don't have that problem. Like, even with earplugs in, when the music's almost all the way up on it, it's almost too loud, even with earplugs. And while I don't hate the helmet, would I buy another one? No. And the main time that it really makes that the whole padding thing and the speaker placement thing, when I ride with someone, if we're both on Cardo, like I have with off-road riding friend of mine that I know, at speeds above 30, I can't hear it, like at all. I just can't. And that's not a big deal, like to most people. But I feel like with the price of this helmet that it costs, it could be better. Will I eventually replace this helmet, even though I've only had it like a year and a half? Yeah, but I'll probably wait for like another year to get my money's worth out of it, because I know when I sell it used, I'm not even going to get half of what I paid for it. So I'll just wear it and continue to kind of deal with it the best I can. Is it a good helmet for someone like looking to do a lot of off-road riding? Sure. Is it the best? No. It's so light that it makes it an easy helmet to wear. But if they would just fix the padding, I think I could deal with the or do something with the padding, or if I could figure out some DIY thing at home to make it a little better, I think I could live with the speaker thing just a little bit more and kind of have the happy medium, knowing, well, I have this, but I don't have this. And you kind of just have to figure out which one you want more. Do you want comfort? Do you want speakers? Blah, blah, blah. If you want all that, you should probably just buy a Shoei Hornet X2, even though, it doesn't have an internal sun visor. You can't get an auto darkening shield for it. That was the main reason that I bought this helmet instead of the Shoei X2, which I probably should have just done and dealt with it and wear sunglasses over it and be like, well, at least the helmet's comfortable and at least I can hear the music. And the sun coming in, of having to wear sunglasses would have been its only kind of niggle. The reason why you ask the Shoei Hornet X2 doesn't have internal sun visor is because it's Snell rated, and with the Snell rating, it won't pass the Snell test with an internal sun visor. That's why. This helmet is a little noisy and a little breezy. Like, it does have a little small chin curtain. It works okay. But it's kind of like, what would I give it if I had to give it a 1 to 10? Probably like a 7. A solid 7. What would I get it if I was grading it, like from fail to A+? Probably a B. Maybe a B.